or I don't know what's going to happen, so I want to kind of have a loophole that gets me out of it. People love loopholes, don't they? People love a way to find a way out in case they get cornered. And they want to say, well, you know, according to this loophole here, how many legal cases have been won by a loophole? Somebody getting out, they break the spirit of what it says, but there's a little bit of a loophole, and they get out it. But what happens is there's a basic untrustworthiness in people's words. So it began, you really couldn't trust anybody. So when one says, oh, I swear by the temple, I'll do this, you couldn't trust it because they weren't going to live up to it. They weren't going to follow. Man, that reminds me of our world, doesn't it? How many times has someone said, I'm going to do this in your life, and they didn't do it? Many times. But the other side of it, how many times have you said, oh, I'll be there. I'll see you. I'll see you Sunday. I'd be honest with you. I tell you as a pastor, I almost hate for people to say this because I don't want them to lie. But when I see them like through the week, or maybe it's a visitor or somebody, they'll always say, hey, I'll see you Sunday, preacher. And I say, please don't say that because you're not going to be there. I know it. And very rarely do they come, and sometimes they do, but it's just people say that because I think they're supposed to say it to the preacher. But people do it. We all mess up in that regard. We don't always follow through with our words. And what happens is everything becomes watered down. And so James is saying here, I want you to see his words. He goes, don't swear by heaven. Don't think that if you swear by heaven, you're getting out. Don't swear by earth or by any oath. He's saying, listen, you don't have to take an oath, but just do this. When you say yes, just let your yes be enough. And when you say no, just let your no be enough. James says, don't say, I swear to God I'm going to do this. Or I swear by the church. Or I swear by my mother. I remember that growing up. People would say that. Don't swear. He says, just do what you say you're going to do. But he says, so that you may not fall under condemnation. Listen, lying and making up promises and not keeping them is a sin before God. It's a sin to do that. It's not just a quirk of your personality. It's not just some little thing. It is wrong to be dishonest. Remember, James has told us all sorts of things about our words. James, through this series, we see that James says, watch your words, watch your words, watch what you say, watch what you say. And here he's saying, listen, above all, be honest. Don't let lies come out of your mouth, is essentially this. Be trustworthy. Is James condemning all vows here? This is an important question. Should we not take marriage vows? Should we not take vows before the court? Now, there are some religious groups that would say that. So, for example, I believe it's the Mennonites and the Quakers. There's groups that they don't take any vows because of this. I don't believe that's the spirit here when it's speaking of these legal sort of vows that you might make before God. I think where James is referring to is the vows that people make with the loopholes with the intent of not following through. There are proper times when you may make a promise. You sign a contract. Guess what? That's basically a vow, isn't it? That's not the wrong thing, but the idea is making a promise, making a vow, swearing that you'll do something. James says you don't need to do that.